Hello, everyone. This is Jayden for Student Pages. Hope you're all doing well. Today, we do have another artist interview for you guys. We are here with the lead singer of The Veils, Finn Andrews. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Just released your seventh album, I believe, called Asphodels, if I'm correct.
That's right. Yes, just two
Yeah.
weeks ago. It's very
Yeah,
fresh.
I thought as much. I was thinking to myself, I was like, 26th, that was, yeah, about 2 weeks ago. So, first of all, massive congratulations. How does it feel having your seventh album out?
It's been very gratifying to release it and immediately go on tour the
Yeah,
world
we've
in
spoken
front
to a
of
lot of
people.
artists recently who've sort of released something and then immediately gone touring around. It just seems like such a, huge task to be doing that.
It is, yeah. I kind of wish we'd waited for winter to be over, but other than that, it's been really nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So
yes.
before we get into
More.
stuff about the new album, if you could just give everyone at home a bit of a rundown as to, how you got into the industry, your background, and why you chose to go that way.
I lived in New Zealand and just wanted to kind of the only thing I could do. I moved to London and we very fortunately got signed very quickly and just been sort of doing it ever since really. That was when I was 16 and I'm 41 now. We've just been kind of going round and round ever since then. And yeah, somehow 7 albums got made along the
Yeah, I
way.
was gonna say because I did read that you've been doing it quite a while.
It's
How's it
crept
feel to have
up.
been doing it that long?
It's great. It just gets richer and deeper the longer you're in it. The more we've kind of learned and the more sort of layers there are to this strange little kind of world we've diligently created over the years. And touring as well, it's so fun. Just you keep going back to these places and you have these friends you only see on tours and like that we've known for like 20 years now, It's like everything about it richer and deeper.
No, that's awesome. So your
Mhm.
new album, Asphodels, how would you say it's developed you personally as an artist? And sort of what was the inspiration behind the release of that album?
Yeah, so it's sort of a boiling down of all of that. Yeah, it's very like intimate, quietly sort of restrained, but very intense album, I think, as a result.
Got you.
Yeah.
I see what you mean, actually. Yeah, I can totally see that. So yeah, you've sort of hinted at it there, but it's like for your music as a whole, how would you describe its genre and what do you think makes it stand out from the crowd?
I think we just have like a really small, dedicated people who like what we do and that have been with us for years, these tours, we just every night, the majority of the people there have seen us, 15 times. It's a really, people are very loyal to this
Yeah, I was gonna say, so
idea.
sort of a very dedicated cult fan base.
Yeah, yeah, we're very proud of them. And so I don't know if we get many new people coming in, but I'm kind of okay with that. We just kind of have found our little nook. Yeah, we're quite happy living in there, I think. It's a nice place
Oh,
to
that's
be.
awesome. I suppose it must be
Kind of
nicer
like the nook
actually.
I'm in right now.
Yeah. No, I suppose it must be nice, really, actually being able to know who your audience are, because I think a lot of artists go out there sort of wanting to shoot and hit something, but whereas if you know now, exactly who's going to be listening and stuff, you can sort of cater the stuff you make toward them.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I really enjoy the closeness. Like I feel like I know a lot of our fans' names and I really like that. And like
Yeah, that's really cool.
but but I think there's a separation. Like, I don't really know what they want or expect of me. And I think it's good to not really know that and just, try and keep writing songs in the way that I always have, which is just do I like this? And then you kind of just trust that it might communicate something to someone else. But yeah, there's a closeness though in like, especially when we're touring. It feels like this. I feel very grateful for the people that have kept this thing going for so long now.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So you've spoken briefly about, your listeners and stuff, but how would you say the people involved in your life and that are around you have sort of inspired, where you've gotten to? And would you say that they strove you to get there? Were you facing any sort of doubt from anyone, or has it all been very positive?
Yeah, I mean the band have been there's been a few changes in the band over the years. People have seen come and gone and then come back again and gone and come again. It's a kind of open door, revolving door policy in the Vales. But yeah, there's been a huge amount of people that have been very supportive. I think it's always been very uphill. It's like that's the downside of being like a niche band with a cult following is nothing's very easy. You have to every album find someone new to put it out and find the money somewhere to make it. And we've never had the luxury of knowing whether the next album I write will come out, which gets stressful. And as you get older, that gets tiring, the wandering around cap in hand side. But on the upside, I think it keeps you from getting lazy. I think we're always trying to make the most out of what you've got. And I feel proud that we've kept monkey swinging from one, vine to the next all this time.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say because if you've been doing it, what 24 years, if am I right? Or
I mean, yeah, it must be about that. Yeah.
yeah, so if
I
you've
think it's
kept it
also
going
like,
that long, there's clearly been a drive there.
yeah, and it's okay if one day the monkey falls as well. It's okay. It doesn't have to go on forever. It can just stop. And it must be weird. I guess people don't really do that anymore. But like in the 90s, bands getting signed for like 8 albums or something. It's
Yeah,
like, man, that'd be such a weird way to feel that you just had this contract, to fulfill. So I mean, we've never had anything like that. It's always been every album is, you make the decision. Do you want to push the boulder up the hill again? And if the songs make you feel, that way again, then you do it. And I guess one day
yeah,
they might not, and then I'll just let the boulder slowly crush me, and
yeah. Well, I
roll
suppose
back
it's
down to the
a
bottom of the hill again.
yeah, it's a positive way to look at it. Sort of being thankful for what you've got, and
And
then
it's that
not
that
being
positive.
yeah. Well, optimistic in a realistic way. It's like I think there's too many
I feel
people
you.
that sort of go out expecting it to go on forever. But I think equally your attitude toward it, clearly it's worked considering, you have been doing it a while. So I think sort of having that very personal drive for it has definitely got you somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have drive. The songs give me drive, but I don't feel like I have much. I sort of, when you've written enough songs, you just start feeling really like I have to do something with these. It's just like they feel, they just clutter up your desk, they clutter up your internal life so
Got that
much, or
creative
having one of these
frustration.
things. Yeah, you kind of have to keep, yeah, as long as I'm writing them, I feel like I want to keep putting them out, and then I can kind of move on. And yeah, it's sort of weird feeling that, but yeah, it's held us in good stead so far.
Yeah, no, that's great. So we
Mm.
spoke sort of very briefly about how, people sort of wanted you to do more stuff live. But have you ever received any sort of really harsh criticism that you've been almost forced to take on board? Or, has it always been a very positive experience, the stuff you're hearing from people that listen to your music?
Oh, I mean, I think like people, generally the people who like us, we've dealt with a lot of like, especially in the early years, with labels and agents and industry people didn't understand what we were doing at all, and kind of hated what we were doing, or just didn't think it was remotely marketable. Which, when you're young and you don't know what you're doing really yet, is hard, because you're in danger of believing them. And I think there were periods where we lost our way a little because we listened to what other people were saying we should do. But we found the path again, and I think there's a real strength that comes from doing this for so long. So you do just
No,
start
absolutely. I
to
mean, it's
know.
an extremely competitive industry, isn't it? So, again, I think the fact that you broke through despite that, again, once again, is like ridiculously impressive.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've never thought of it like an industry. I just sort of, you just keep going, don't you? And like you find a way to keep going. I don't know how people have the stamina, like big pop stars who've been big pop stars for decades and things. I don't know how people do it. I just don't. I don't care enough about being successful. I just care about
No, absolutely.
writing
I,
the
th- I think
songs and
yeah.
putting them out.
No, I think that's good. I think again, I've had the pleasure of speaking to a lot of people recently who sort of have all said a similar thing in that they're not driven by the money, they're more driven by their personal, whatever the fuel may be, whether it is creative frustration, whether it is the passion they have, whether it is the fans. I think it's just nice to see more and more people who are doing this because they care for it and not just because it's an easy way for them to make money and sort of almost exploit their talent, if that makes sense.
Oh, I mean, I can't think of a harder way to make money. I don't know why anyone would do this. Don't
Yeah,
take
I
money.
found that out that sort of you really do have to be in the stupidly big leagues to make any money, especially off of like, the streaming sites and stuff. It's like they pay peanuts.
No, there's just so many easier ways. I kind of hate money. I make it really stresses me out. I don't know. I never wanted to be in a world that had that as the driving. And I like that about this in a strange way. It's really hard, and you're always sort of just in survival mode with it. You feel very free of it as well. And it can be a burden that makes things hard, but it's nice to be motivated by something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm with you. So again, with us being student pages, we, have to utilize social media to quite a high extent to get these interviews out there and stuff. So as an artist, how would you say social media has played a part in, where you've gotten to? Do you have a lot of engagement on social media? Have you sort of optimized it? How does that work for you?
I'm a 41-year-old. I've never really understood it. We kind of tried in the MySpace days. I don't know. I don't really see anything good about it at all, honestly. I think
Yeah,
I'm like, I
it's
have a
funny.
2.5-year-old daughter now as well. So you're just like,
Right.
I can hope this whole thing is dead by the time she's in her teens, just like and all these people who run these things, they're just the worst people on earth. I don't know. I've got no time for it really. You use it. It helps sell a few more tickets to your shows, and
I was gonna say, to be
not to
honest,
be
yeah,
exciting.
it's like distancing yourself from that as much as possible is probably the smart choice. It's too bad that there's that many of us that can't seem to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's been a way for people to. I don't know. I guess it's been helpful to some people in their lives, but
So, as an artist, how important would you say it is to find other people doing a similar thing to you? So, like other people involved in the industry, other artists. Do you find those connections to be helpful, or do you have many of them? How does that work? So again, with us being a sort of student-centric publication, we do sort of try and give students advice. As an artist, what advice would you give to students wanting to do something similar to you?
yeah, and I mean, I can't imagine how hard it is to start in this now. Like we started in a weird time, but it was definitely easier to get like someone to take an interest in you. Maybe it doesn't matter if no one pays attention. You just got to keep doing it as long as you can. Try and fund it somehow. And you probably shouldn't do this straight out of high school. Like you should go just be in the world for a while. Do it in your like mid to late 20s when you kind of
Okay.
know who you are a little more. That was my feeling. I just met a lot of people there who were sort of like doing degrees that they didn't really know if they wanted to do, and it's what they thought they should do.
So personally for you, what has been your biggest challenge so far in your career? Like what would you say was the biggest roadblock you've had to overcome?
Keeping going when you're not fashionable, no one's taking an active interest in us. We're just accept the people who love us and have loved us for a long time.
So you've obviously just released the album and you're about to go on tour, but what are you working on right now? Like what do you think might be next for you, or do you not know yet?
Yeah, well, I'm always sort of one album ahead because we finished this one at the end of 2023, so I've had a whole year before this one came out. So I've written another record.
No, fantastic. Right. Well, with that, I'll wish you the very best of luck with that. Again, congratulations on the release of the album. Huge accomplishment. And yeah, thank you ever so much for speaking with us.